David, turning back to you, it's sometimes suggested that one's faith or one's philosophy is conditioned by where you were born and the circumstances of your life. And someone has asked in connection with that, if you'd been born at a different time and a place, that you would be arguing for a different God and a different religion. For example, if you were born in Saudi Arabia, you would expect to be a Muslim, would you not?
Quite possibly, but I suspect so would Michael. According to this argument, and I think one of the things we can all agree on is that this is an example of what's called the genetic fallacy. I mentioned it earlier in my discussion. The idea that you can assess whether a belief is true or false based on the origins of that belief. So I think you simply can't do that. It tells us nothing about whether the belief is true or false to identify where people happen to hold that belief. It's also, it's not even factually the case that is so. People leave the Christian faith all the time, and people enter the Christian faith all the time from all parts of the world. And how is it that Christianity has become a global faith? There are many more devout Christians in parts of Africa and Asia than there are in parts of the world where in the past Christianity was predominant. So I don't think there's an argument against the existence of God or Christianity there at all.
Is it okay to just a quick follow-up?
Yes, please.
If you're suggesting that you can't tell whether a belief is true or false based on the origin of the belief,
Yeah.
would you accept that you can't believe whether a belief is true or false based on its origin being God?
Based on its origin?
Based on its origin being God, based on the fact that God said it, you can't believe that it's true or false. You mean in terms of an authority? I mean, the point that you made was that you can't believe, you can't judge that a belief is true or false based on its origin.
Yes, okay.
So can you trust that a belief is true or false based on its origin being God? And if so, why?
Oh, well, that depends. It depends, first of all, whether we've good reason to believe in God. And it depends on whether God is a valid source of truth. So if I acquire a belief based on a reliable source of truth, a reliable source of knowledge, then, of course, that can count as knowledge. But just to say that a belief comes from a particular part of the world, if it has no relevance to the truth or falsity of the belief, then it can't count in its favour.
Following on from this, Michael, you made criticism of some of the beliefs and some of the claims of the Christian Bible. And someone has asked that if your worldview were to change from atheism to deism, however unlikely you think that might be, but if that were to happen, would that lead you to change your interpretation of the Bible and its difficult texts?
Well, as I understand, unless people have different ideas of what deism is, I mean, deism is, to me, is the belief that there is a God that more or less started things off and then went off on holiday and doesn't intervene on an ongoing basis in the working of the universe. I don't see how that would change the views of any particular text. I mean, they would under a deistic view, those books would still have been written by humans who have the same just fallibilities as the rest of us.